Welcome to Anafram Market Perspectives.
Anafram Market Perspectives. Friday, August 22nd, 2025. Hello, and welcome back to Anafram Market Perspectives. This was a risk-off week. Tech cooled, defensives did their job, and tariffs started showing up in sticker prices. Let's hit the highlights, and yes, we'll set the stage for Jerome Powell's Jackson Hole remarks. S&P 500 weekly recap. The index drifted lower most of the week and chopped sideways into Friday. Tech was the drag. AMD fell a little over 9%, and Palantir slid more than 13%. Other well-known names joined the pullback. Microsoft minus 3.5%, Apple minus 3.4%, Nvidia minus 3.9%, Broadcom minus 7%, Oracle minus 4.8%, Tesla minus 4.6%, Amazon minus 3.9%, Meta minus 5.5%, Google minus 1.6%. Not everything was red. Select software, Salesforce, ServiceNow, held up. On the chip side, Texas Instruments and Analog Devices bounced. Healthcare and defensives provided ballast. Eli Lilly plus 3.7%, Johnson & Johnson plus 2.4%, Procter & Gamble plus 3.3%, Coca-Cola plus 1.6%, while utilities, notably Nextera and Energy, Exxon, Chevron, finished green. Net. Leadership fatigue in megacap tech. Rotation into cash flow and staples. Tariffs. From headlines to checkout. Tariffs got real for consumers. Sony raised USPS 5 prices by $50, following earlier hikes overseas and moves by rivals. Expect broader price creep in electronics as old inventory clears. In retail, Walmart showed how scale, grocery mix, and ads help it absorb part of the tariff shock, even as shoppers trade down. Target continues to struggle with traffic and margin pressure. Strategists warn we're seeing the first wave of tariff-driven goods inflation as corporate workarounds. Stockpiling, supplier deals, China plus one, hit their limits. Abroad, the US-EU framework centered on a 15% levy for most EU exports: autos, semis, wine. Autos get some relief versus prior US rates. Wine didn't. Supply chain noise stays elevated. Economic data, and the big one at Jackson Hole US housing, was mixed positive. Starts up to 1.428 million, permits 1.354 million. Existing home sales rose 2% to 4.01 million. Initial claims ticked up to 235,000, continuing 1.97 million. Flash PMIs surprised to the upside, manufacturing 53.3, services 55.4, while Philly Fed slipped slightly negative on employment. Crude drew 6 million barrels, a tailwind for energy. Canada stayed disinflationary at the core, 2.6% year over year. Eurozone CPI held 2.0% with core 2.3%. UK CPI 3.8%. Japan exports minus 2.6% year over year. China kept loan prime rates unchanged. Now Jackson Hole. Markets are keyed in on Chair Powell's speech. What they want to hear. Does the Fed still see inflation progress as bumpy but intact? Or are tariff-linked goods prices becoming sticky? How much weight does the Fed put on strong services activity, the PMIs, versus softening in some regional surveys and claims? Any signal on timing or size of the next move? Stay patient versus risk management cut if growth slows? Even subtle wording can move rates, the dollar, and the duration-heavy parts of the equity market. In short, Powell's tone is the week's final catalyst. VIX check VIX hovered in the high 80s, above early summer troughs but far from stress. Term structure is gently upward sloping. Protection isn't dirt cheap anymore, yet still reasonably priced for concentrated tech books or event risk around Jackson Hole. Bonus names: 5-day view with Ichimoku plus MACD, CIBR, First Trust, NASDAQ Cybersecurity. ETF flat to slightly lower around 71.5. Price chopped around a thin flat cloud. That's equilibrium, not trend. MACD hugged zero. Trigger up. Daily close greater than 72. Risk line 71.2/71.0 Below there, wait for a base. Walmart WMT, earnings gap down into the high 90s, then sideways coil. Price sits below the cloud. First resistance 99 to 100. MACD turning up from deeply negative suggests a relief bounce setup, but bulls need that reclaim to confirm. Palo Alto Networks, PAN-NW, near 183, testing the cloud underside. Tenkan curling toward Kijun and MACD edging positive. Trigger up, sustained 185 to 186, clears a higher low and opens 188 to 190. Back below 181 keeps it range bound. Investor takeaways 1. Tech fatigue plus tariff reality, trim concentration after big runs. Pair quality growth with defensives, healthcare, and energy cash flows. 2. Jackson Hole is the swing factor. Powell's tone on inflation versus growth will steer yields, and by extension, long-duration tech. 3. Hedge smartly. With VIX in the high teens and an event on deck, optionality remains a practical insurance policy. 4. Tactical triggers, CIBR greater than 72 for momentum, WMT greater than 99 to 100 to repair the gap, PAN-NW, 185 to 186 for the cleaner long. That's the wrap. Enjoy the weekend, and we'll be back Monday with the pre-market setup, the calendar, and fresh watch lists.
Thanks for watching. If you found this valuable, hit subscribe and share this with others. See you next time on Anafram Market Perspectives.